Gonna fade to black. Let me turn down this volume. All right. Test. Nope, I lost my audio. Test. There we go. Okay. Yep, just unplugged my headphones. All right, we're going live in 5, 4, 3.
Yummy like a gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this for October 21st, 2024. For the next hour or so, let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game Mess Mornings Live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, that Nintendo playtest is starting soon and details have begun to leak. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host to Game Mess Mornings. It's Jason Fanelli, everybody. Jason, how are you doing?
I am doing wonderfully, sir. It is a good Monday morning, big day here in the Fanelli household. For the first time ever, I am taking the elder gimmick, my older daughter, to Monday Night Raw from the Wells Fargo Center at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This evening, we made the signs. I bought her the Liv Morgan T-shirt. Liv wants to see Liv. We are very excited. Got pretty good seats too. I'm really looking forward to it. I told her last Tuesday, and it's all she talked about all weekend.
That's fantastic.
We went to a family party on Saturday, and she told the same person 3 different times. She just kept forgetting that she was telling people. So yeah, looking forward to that. We're going with it's my wife's cousin's husband. So what's that? A cousin-in-law? Like, what's the degree of separation there?
A husband, I think.
Husband. I like that. Husband. And his son. It's also his first show. So we're gonna get 2 first shows at the same time, and yeah, very much looking forward to it. The Wyatt Six are teasing that they're coming back tonight. That's my favorite gimmick at the moment. It's going to be a good time. One quick technical thing on my side: the camera, I see it in the stream, but I don't have you in Discord anymore. If that's fine. It's fine because it's working.
There it is.
Now you're back on Discord. Never mind. You fixed it.
All right, I'm gonna try to pre-order this analog 3D right now. Let's do that.
Go for it.
Please draw a box around the biggest airplane. There's only one airplane. What are you talking about, man?
Is it the one that you're in? Is the one that you flew? That'd be great.
It was a dream lifter.
They know it's you.
It's got to be a Boeing. It was pretty big. You're in line to check out. Calculating estimated wait time. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. I guess I'll have to check in on this.
In the middle of the stream, we're going to hear that when it's your turn to
for real.
Check out.
We'll see if I'm able to actually pull this off during the show. Probably not. I'm being told to check in with the producer here. Maybe don't do that, all caps, says Jan. Well, listen, it just went up for pre-order 7 minutes ago. What choice do I have?
That's right.
All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. I am excited for you in the gimmick. That sounds like a good time. I'm over here. I'm pretty well rested because I went to sleep early last night. I did not stay up like I did the night before, just like doing runs in Astro until I think it was like 5 a.m. I was
oh no.
Yeah. And like it was crazy because earlier in the night I was like laying late in bed helping the kid the gimmick fall asleep, and while I was doing that I was on the Steam Deck, and that's all the way upstairs, like 2 floors up from where the PS5 is, and I was streaming to the Steam Deck using Chiaki, and it was like over a shaky maybe 5 gigahertz connection, and it was laggy. And it was artifacting. I was getting like those big pixel blocking, so it was like it looked really rough, and I was still setting pretty good times. I was so into it that it was like doing pretty well despite all of that. And then I went down to the PS5 and took the weights off like Rock Lee, and it was immediately just doing much better. Although I gotta say, it's almost better to play that game on the Steam Deck because I like the DualSense controller. I'm not going to be someone that completely complains about it, but I have issues with the DualSense, and I don't know, when I'm using it for a little bit of time, I have to like force it into the correct ergonomic position as opposed to it just naturally falling into the ergonomic position, and so I have to like actively think about it. So playing on the Steam Deck was real nice, but I have set my best times using a shoot PS5. Now, I am 64th in the world right now. I think actually 65th because I think Jesse Fratelli just beat me. So,
oh no.
Yeah. Well, listen, I
what
knew
are you doing here?
I know. God, you're telling me. So I think I'm at a 28.5 in that range. So it was Jesse now. I am. Yes, Sean actually pointed out. I just did this too, Sean, remapping R2 to R1, so boosting feels better. I did that as well, just for the first time this morning.
Dan Reichert reporting in chat. Beefhammer has also eclipsed you. You're 66.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So it's happening. Dan, Mike, Kayla, Dan's sister. All these people are behind me now. I'm not really worried about them anymore. I am like we're going for top 10. That's what we're aiming for. But yeah, like 28 and a half seconds. I think the pace we're headed, I do think one of us might be able to get near 27 seconds. So like 27.9 or something like that. I feel, because on my best run so far, there's a one last hop that you do by bouncing off a bounce pad. And if you time it right and you do a short boost into it, you'll do the perfect little hop right onto the platform without any extra air. And on my best run so far, I did a huge hop. And so I go up and I get a bunch of air. So there's like time right there that it would have been faster, like at least a tenth of a second, but I think it's a little bit more than that. So it's like, I already know I can do it faster. So I'm sitting here, Jason, I'm talking to you, but I am thinking about playing
the gears are turning. When does the Grubb Done Quick stream happen?
Well, we'll probably, so every Friday, every Thursday, there's a new level. Every Friday, we'll do our UPF with a run of this. At least that's the plan for now. So we'll do the new level at the very least. But I'll probably stream me playing some of this first level here again this week. I was like, here's how sick it was. I was playing the level in my head when I was just actually trying to go to sleep. And that's not like, oh, I'm imagining running. No, I was doing the button presses for the dog boost in my head, and I could feel my body lurching forward. Like I could just I was actually playing the level in my head. That's how ingrained it's become. So it's a sickness, and I'm not proud.
When do we call Astrobots Anonymous? When do we call them?
God, if it existed, it would have been called long ago. But yeah, this is what I was hoping for, and we're here. I'm very excited about it. So
yeah, man.
Let's do an analog check. Let's see here. You're in line less than a minute. Okay. Well, I guess let's explain what we do here. Most weekdays, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All right. Before we do that, let's see here. What's my credit card information? Let's go do that. Jeff Grubb.
Date of birth, social.
There we go. First name, Jeff Grubb. Company, not applicable because they're not paying for it.
Capitalism Mess Mornings here on giantbomb.com.
Exactly.
Your host, Jeff Grubb.
Let me teach you how to spend some money, everybody.
Not sponsored by Analog.
No, absolutely not. Do I want priority shipping? I'll just go domestic. Let's save some money.
You're fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to take a while regardless. All right, is this going to... Okay, it is going to actually take my saved credit card information. Otherwise, we just would have been shut out of luck because I'm not going to go get my wallet. All right. I think we are processed. Let's see. It's loading, everybody. Let's hope.
So in case you didn't realize, chat, the news today is that the Analog N64, Analog 3D, I think it's called, is out, and you can pre-order it.
Wait, don't say it yet. Okay, it's confirmed. Now you can say it. Yes, you could go pre-order yours now that I pre-ordered mine. So there we go. All right, let's get into it with our first story here. Nintendo's mysterious Switch playtest details have been revealed, despite Nintendo's best efforts. This is from John Walker at Kotaku. Real quick up top, let me just wrap with Nintendo real quick. I'm just going to talk about information that's been made public. I am in this thing. I've not downloaded the code or anything yet. I don't think I've agreed to anything, but I'm not going to speak about any information based on anything I got from there, just stuff that is public and can be talked about because of that. When Nintendo announced a secretive 10,000 person playtest for an NDA and wrapped project, speculation naturally ran wild. While something to do with the upcoming reveal and release of the Switch's successor seemed the most popular idea, others wondered if it might be some sort of expansion for the Switch Online subscription. Places were filled up within seconds with participants sworn to secrecy, so of course it only was a matter of time before the details, leaked. Sounds like it's an MMO of some sort. Jason, yeah, I'll keep reading here. The first person to break the rule, a Twitter user called Ethan This Guy, posted some images revealing the nature of the project, which have inevitably since been removed. This followed an update by Nintendo to the Playtest site, only visible to those who are among the chosen 10,000, that allows them to download the unnamed test software to both phone and Switch. And what is that test software? It's reported by The Verge that the now deleted screenshots originally showed images of Nintendo's first attempt at an MMO. Of course, it's a massive anticlimax. These things always are. I don't know. I'm kind of like, what? What do you mean an MMO? Still, making an MMO some 15 years after anyone cared about them is at least interesting in and of itself. And we're not talking about fighting orcs and buying mounts here, but rather something that looks like a fever dream Peter Molyneux might have after playing too much Minecraft. In this game, the text beneath a section titled "The Game's Purpose" reads, "The goal is to work with others to fully develop a massive, expansive planet by utilizing creativity and farmed resources." The accompanying picture, which we won't be posting, showed a large sphere covered in an expansive grid, some of its squares filled in with various amounts of blue. The description continues, "As you progress across the planet, you'll discover new lands, enemies, and resources that will become essential to your journey." A second screenshot showed what looked like tiny Minecraft worlds in bell jars with the words, throughout your adventure... Oh, no, that got deleted here, so I don't know what it said. "Throughout your adventure, players will be granted special tools known as beacons. These beacons emit a healing light that purifies and develops the land. The higher your beacon is placed, the wider its beacon zone becomes. Within your beacon zone, your best work can be done. Players will repeat this process until their current planetary block is considered fully developed." The final leaked piece of information is entitled "The Dev Core" and shows a large room made of blocks in which Fall Guys-esque characters run around, one carrying a block above his head. It says that this is a separate space from the planet you'll be developing. Think of it as a social hub to gather with other players. It'll also be the location where you can level up your character, get items, and commune with others, and more. What?
Yeah, what? So just to help you out here, that those words did not get cut off. Words that he quoted were throughout your adventure.
The beacon zone. We were talking the beacon zone. Yes. Thank you so much, Jason.
Yes, we were talking beacon zone. But also to echo what you said when you were finished reading, what the hell is going on here? This is one of those things that sounds like it's not something we ever thought we'd ever wanted, but because it's Nintendo and they figured out a way to make it super fun and addicting and child-friendly, everyone's going to be talking about it when it finally launches. And it just seems to be what they do. I have no idea what to make of this. I have none.
Yeah, I mean... I think it's mostly interesting because they're doing it as a test, right? I could always imagine Nintendo experimenting with all kinds of stuff in the background, and most of it doesn't get like super far. Obviously, the vast majority of it never comes out. I'm sure they have a research and development team that just is always messing around with various stuff. The fact that they feel the need to run a test suggests it's like this is something they're looking to bring to market at some point. And I'm like, okay, well, what makes it special? It sounds weird and interesting. It sounds like a mix of, I don't know, PlayStation Home and Minecraft for sure. And honestly, yeah, Peter Molyneux, like the cube, where it's like, yeah, everyone is on this world sphere and everyone's claiming certain amounts of it. To what end? I don't know. But I mean, it sounds potentially interesting. It sounds weird in the way that Nintendo games can be weird, which I welcome. Also, it sounds like something that could come out and no one cares about as well. But we'll see.
Now, as you mentioned, I think there are two particularly notable things to think about while you're going through the story. One is what you already said. The fact that they have brought this as a playtest to people would insinuate that this is something they're very confident in. It has gone through the internal stages that where things would normally fall off, and that eventually this is something they're going to want to bring to market. The second thing is, will this be a new IP? Or are they going to adapt this core idea into one of their existing IP? And if so, which one fits the best of what we see here? And I'm reading these details and potentially looking at some leaks. I will confirm nor deny whether I've done that. I can't place a franchise.
No.
I cannot place which franchise of theirs it would be. I mean,
this is the new ARMS.
Yeah. When you're thinking of like a world and rebuilding a world with these little blocks, the nature and environment specifically, the only one I can think of is Pikmin, which Sean just mentioned in the chat there. But other than that, like, are we building the Star Tropics? What's going on here?
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I could easily see them adapting, like Jan points out, Mies. Like, this could be Miitopia Online or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Chances are it's probably going to be a new IP.
Tomodachi World.
Oh,
Let's
Tomodachi
go.
World. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
That would be amazing.
People have been mentioning the artwork they've seen from the game for the characters themselves look, in some people's estimations, pretty bad. Maybe that is placeholder. Maybe that's the reason it looks that way, or maybe it's just bad. The Verge added, though, that there's also an aspect of user-generated content features in the game, although Nintendo apparently will not let people share these with others unless they pass a test to, quote, show that you understand the importance of respectful communication. So I fully expect this to be the most vile and toxic place on the internet in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Just give it a second.
It's going to be Miiverse dick drawings all over again. They're going to figure out a way, and they're going to draw them dicks.
Yes,
it's just what they're going to do.
Our dick detection technology at Nintendo has never been more elaborate.
PDT.
Yes, and it needs to be, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I am still fascinated by this. It's not, GameCube games on Nintendo Switch Online. Big surprise. But I thought it would be much more of a wet fart than this is. Like, where it's like it just fizzles out, and it's like, okay, well, I got a code, and I never even tried it out because I wasn't interested. I am definitely going to go check this out and see it for myself now. So that's something. And then, part of it is I want to see what an online Nintendo game looks like that's supposed to be has a 10,000 person server. Like, what? Sure. First of all, does it even function? And second, like, what are the communication tools? How am I able to interact with other people? Is it just, choosing chat options from a radial menu? Is there voice chat? Like, I wonder what all that looks like. And even if it is not voice chat, I still think Nintendo could do some fun stuff with communication. And how persistent is this world? All these questions around, like, why is anyone, like, when you start this, why are you going to continue caring? I'm interested to see how Nintendo themselves answer that question, those problems, those game design issues. And I think they could have some fun answers because they're Nintendo. And
I think that because they're Nintendo is also what makes this so shocking. Like, right. You're hearing a brand new MMO in development. You're hearing things like 10,000 people servers and UGC and all this. And it's not stuff that you would associate with Nintendo. Perhaps just the fact that they're open to something like this is worthy of attention or scrutiny from the people who are playing the game. And with a game like this, I guess it is the kind of game that you have to have outside outside critique or outside counseling, because the developers of the game are going to be, slightly biased. They want their game to be good. So they're going to say these things are good and they're not. And if they've never made an MMO before, they don't know. So they got to bring in people to test it. Everything about this just seems so wacky. Honestly, like an AI generated news story. It really does feel like an AI generated news
little
story. But, like, even with Nintendo making an MMO feeling so wrong, especially when we've been asking for a Pokemon MMO for how long, and then we're finally getting some sort of MMO, and they've aped Minecraft instead. I would, to be a fly on that wall and just see what have they consulted with Xbox? There is a relationship there after Super Smash Brothers. Have they asked about this sort of thing? It's just Super Mario MMORPG. Whoever Squidgrass in chat, I love you.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Amazing.
Yeah, but no, this is cool. The fact that they're even trying something new like this that isn't, waking me up in the morning or detecting my sleep at night is pretty cool.
Yep.
So yeah,
I did see on the Alarmo this morning, or maybe it was last night before falling asleep. It had the graph of sleep data. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, so they are keeping track of that stuff.
Oh no.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, I like I said, I will try this out. You can download this app now, but it's not live. No one's actually played this yet. Like when Shoot played it, maybe there's more like info. Like when you download it, maybe that's where people are seeing the character designs and stuff like that. Maybe in context, the characters look better. That's not going to start in earnest until Wednesday, I believe. So by then, expect even more leaks and information and data at that point. And then,
and please leak away because I wasn't fast enough. So
yeah, yeah.
Sit out and watch.
Sam Nice in chat said they got a code as well. Maybe we could do a community stream. We'll see because Nintendo like requested people not share the information, and while you know I don't work for these companies, I'm not gonna purposely poke them in the eye either when I can avoid it. So if people start streaming and Nintendo seems cool with it, we will follow that lead, but I'm not gonna be breaking the seal on that. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's move along here. Spider-Man 2 heads to PC. This is from Insomniac Games on Twitter. Just announced at Marvel's New York Comic-Con panel, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is coming to PC on January 30th, 2025. Wish list now on Steam and the Epic Game Store. Yeah, hey, that's fantastic. Part of me is like, oh yeah, that wasn't on PC. I played the hell out of Spider-Man 2. I really like these games. I think I like the Spider-Man games more than most people, actually. I could kind of go back to it at any moment and play the whole thing from scratch, and I would have zero complaints. Really, they fit with my vibe. So hearing this amount, okay, yeah, I'll play that again. I'll get it on. Maybe I'll get the ultra wide screen out and set that up just for that game. That'll look real nice on there. So yeah, excited. We'll get improved ray tracing and stuff. Probably better visuals than you can get on the PS5 Pro. Would love to take the game for a walk that way. So yeah, I'm excited about this. How about you?
Yeah, it seems like it's only natural to have the third of the Spider-Man games, but with Spider-Man and Miles Morales behind it on PC. Just a no-brainer. It was a matter of time. Ultra wide does seem like the way to go. I don't have the ability to do that, so that sounds like it's pretty cool. I'm curious now, though, since the series is sort of caught up, if whatever future project, whether it's Wolverine or the next Spider-Man, Spider-Man 3, whatever they're really digging in on, if it's something that they may try to consider releasing at the same time, simultaneously.
I don't. What do you mean, like on PC?
PS5 and PC. Yes.
Yeah. That's the question, right? Because the game came out in October of 2023. And so that's like just a little bit over a year now between coming out on PS5 and making the leap to PC. And there was a time where it's like, everyone's like, well, that's going to be 3 years. It's always going to be 3 years. It'll be on PS4. Then 3 years later, it comes to PC. Maybe it was 2 years. But either way, the window is shrinking. It's getting much smaller. Yes. This is much quicker. And for like one of their biggest games, the one that sells the most. Now, maybe that makes it easier because everyone who wants this game rushed out and got it. Also, it does have a licensor in Disney/Marvel who might be like, can we please go make more money from this thing that we licensed to you? That we're not interested in your exclusives. That has nothing to do with us. We want to make the money from this game. Go sell it on PC now. Maybe that's happening. I don't necessarily know that. We know that happened with MLB, but we don't know that's happening here. Either way, though, window is shrinking. So does it keep shrinking? Do you think it ever goes below a year? Like 6 months later, a big PlayStation 5 exclusive game is on PC within 6 months?
It would need to be something like a Spider-Man or a licensed game, I think. I think if Sony can help it, they're going to want to have that console exclusivity for as long as they can, whether the window can be shortened or not. It might be one of those things where they get the port done and then just sit on it until they're ready to actually put it out. You know what I mean? But no, yeah, I think the technology is slowly getting there where they can shrink the time. But it's just a matter, like I said, if PlayStation actually wants to do it. If there would ever be one, it would be the next Spider-Man or Venom or Wolverine or, now that I think about it, they don't really have much else first-party licensed.
Yeah, like Astrobot. Like, do we like that seems like a specific case because I don't know. Astro Bot is a platformer, and the audience for that is much smaller than Spider-Man. So, like, if that came out to PC a year later, first of all, it might be a little weird because the game's such a PS5 game, takes advantage of the DualSense, but DualSenses work on PC. So a year later, I could see Astro Bot coming to PC, something like that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean that makes sense too because the speedrunning community would eat that up, right? It's the kind of game that would be perfect on PC just to find. I would love to see like a tool-assisted speedrun of Astro Bot.
Oh, yeah, that'd be amazing.
Like that'd be amazing. Just if for you, it'd be taking notes, but for me, it'd be like popcorn. Just watch the bot run through all those stages. But yeah, I think Astro Bot makes sense. Are there any games first party releases? And maybe this is an indictment on how little first party releases they're actually releasing that aren't there besides Spider-Man 2 at this moment. Like,
yeah, when you say that, I guess
Forbidden West is there, right?
Yeah, Demon Souls, I suppose, is the last. Is one that we have not seen. Now, there could be reasons for that. That one just wasn't prioritized.
Sure.
But yeah, Demon Souls should go on PC. It would do really, really well.
Is Concord on PC?
It was. Not. Let me check my one. Not anymore. Yeah. Yeah, that one launched on PC. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's the whole strategy with Sony and PC is fascinating to me. Like the logic would say eventually you'd put them on both to make as much money as possible.
Oh yeah.
But they seem to be very still so stubborn or headstrong about console exclusivity, even when their biggest competitor is, of course, they're still doing timed releases too. Indiana Jones is not launching on PlayStation day and date. That's not coming out until the spring, as they announced at Gamescom. But they're still announcing it immediately. Like they're getting ahead of it. They're not waiting until they. I mean, granted, they might not have known because that window might. They don't know how long the window was going to be. But Xbox was able to announce it's coming to PlayStation this date. We're not forgetting about you. Don't worry about it. I don't know that PlayStation would ever do that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I don't think it's in their way of business that they would announce something for PC the same day they announced the release date for, even if it was like 6 months later. Yeah, they would never announce those dates at the same time.
I think you're right. I think they're in a situation where they feel the need to put these things on PC to make more money, but they also feel like walking this fine line between doing that and making PlayStation 5 feel like a special place where you can only get certain experiences, or you can get certain experiences that aren't available anywhere else. And so they have to kind of be, a little bit coy sometimes, and act a little stupid. Like, I don't know, what are you talking about, PC? Now, they'll admit, like, yeah, all our games are going to come to PC. When that happens is different in every case. But I do think that we go forward and the window shrinks more and more, and we are going to be in a world probably where some of the biggest games hit PC 6 months later. Does it ever get smaller than that? Does it ever go day and date? You're right. There might be a case here or there, and that might be from due to outside pressure or whatever. But I think for the most part, we get through this generation, and outside of the live service games, which is a whole other thing. Obviously, Concord did come day and date to PC. For a traditional single player Sony game, what you imagine when we say Sony Interactive Entertainment's, worldwide studios, those games, the window probably never gets below 6 months, at least not until like we're in a very different world.
I agree.
As far as Spider-Man 2, though, no more story content is planned for Spider-Man 2. So there definitely was, I think, some side stories that had not unsatisfactory conclusions. They just didn't have conclusions. And the suggestion always seemed to be like, that stuff will get followed up maybe in DLC or maybe in an expand alone, the way that like Miles Morales was an expand alone to Spider-Man 1. And now we've seen the leaks. We know that Venom was something that they are working on, and that was going to be sort of the expand alone equivalent to Spider-Man 2. Now, that could have moved around. Wolverine could now come out before Venom. It seems like there's a lot of moving parts there, but Venom seems like it might still be coming, maybe, and they could put a lot of this story content that was intended for, maybe once intended as DLC for Spider-Man 2. Just put that right in Venom, and now you've got an even bigger, more robust game that you can easily justify selling for $70, which I'm pretty sure is their goal here. You looking forward to something like that?
Yeah, I think it's the right way to go. If and Miles Morales is proof of that. They could maybe sell it for a little bit less. I don't know that they would go full 70 if it's an expand alone. But then again, they do like making money, so maybe they would. It strikes me as interesting that you would say that Wolverine would come out first. I would think that with Venom movie coming out in November, right?
Yeah.
A Venom confirmation / announcement / what have you seems like a perfect announcement for Game Awards.
Right? I think so too. But I mean, just when we look at the leaks, it's like it's hard to parse that stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know what their internal timetable is, even with those leaks, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if they announced it at Game Awards for sometime in 2025, or if they wait a little further down the pike and announce it later. But I do think a Venom expand-alone, as you said, might come first. I feel like Wolverine they're trying to make as big as Spider-Man 2, so you might not see that still for like a couple of years, maybe 25, late 25, early 26, and that's a big maybe. So we'll see. It's a fascinating thing, especially with all those leaks and all that information out, how much we still don't know when it comes to like scheduling and timing and stuff like that.
Yep.
But yeah, standalone Venom makes more sense to me than DLC.
Yep, I agree. Either way, I'm looking forward to more. Insomniac really crushing it. Very excited to see how the Wolverine finally turns out as well, especially. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about some Switch 2 news. I don't know. We'll get to it right after this. All right, we're back. And Jason Fanelli, did you know that it's been 8 years since Nintendo unveiled the Switch, and the world still awaits the Switch 2 here, according to Gavin Lane from Nintendo Life. 8 years, huh?
Since that first trailer, I remember that. It just came out of nowhere on a random like weekday morning.
Yeah.
I was still going into an office then. Yeah. I remember watching it like 5 or 6 times, like, what is going on here? And then a couple months later, I previewed it in New York City and played like 1-2 Switch and Zelda and stuff like that. And they had that big stage show right before that. And then it came out in March. I cannot believe it was so long ago, and that we've gone so long only hearing rumors and no confirmation of the successor. It's wild.
Yep, it's been a long time, and I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, remembering that trailer, it was like so exciting, and I think this generation for Nintendo has felt both very long and also kind of like it flew by. And I think part of that is the Switch has been so relevant this entire time. There are always very important and amazing games coming out just about every year for the system, and then of course there's a ton of support. There's a ton of software coming out all the time, but there's been a lot of very important games. Last year, Tears of the Kingdom, the biggest of them. That has kept it front of mind, where it's like, of course the Switch is the thing everyone should be talking about because it's got this game. But it's also like felt, I think, a little bit longer because it's just been the Switch, and we had the Switch OLED. We never got that Switch Pro model that they definitely were working on. They always have mid-gen refreshes of that kind for a very long time, especially for their portable systems, which this is equally a successor to. So it's been like, okay, that never happened, so should we expect the Switch 2 faster? And I think what happened was, it's like, no, the Switch 2 is still going to come out as if a Switch Pro model came out, and they're just going to keep selling us the Switch because it keeps doing fine. So that 8 years has, like I said, felt very long in some ways and flown by in others. But that has led people to be where they are right now, which is every little crumb they can get about the Switch 2 is setting them off, which takes us to our next story, where I wrote down the headline: Nintendo fans are down bad and are now drawing pictures of the Switch 2s, from Lewis Parker at Gaming Bible. Seems we're getting Nintendo Switch 2 related leaks every 24 hours at this point, because someone has just revealed our first look at the console's design, although first look might not be the best way to describe it. This leak comes courtesy of a post from the Family Boards and a user over there who goes by the name of Ninspider, who shared an artistic recreation of what the Nintendo Switch 2 will supposedly look like. Now, I know that's not the most professional looking leak. In fact, let me bring it up here for everybody. It is.
I need to see this.
It's a sketch, and a sketch might even be a bit much, depending, like, of a description here. It is just like someone scribbling on some paper, but it does reveal maybe a little bit. For one, and video listeners can see this now. Maybe we'll try to include a link for audio listeners, but I'll do my best to describe it. There is a Switch system without the Joy-Cons attached, and it is it has a kickstand, and it's like the kickstand's not the solid block like it is on the Switch OLED. It's got kind of a cutout design now. But basically, it looks like the Switch tablet. Like, that's what that looks like. And then the base stand is, yes, this is not, it is, some of the people in chat are laughing at this because it's
police crime sketch.
It looks like a police crime sketch, yes. So the base station, this is the thing that might be a little bit interesting because we can actually glean something here, I suppose. It's got sort of a half pyramid design where it slants back, so it's like a triangle, so it has a little bit more of a wide base, so it might not fall over when you go to dock your Switch. But otherwise, we can't really get anything out of this. Now, it's worth pointing out that Nate the Hate, who's a pretty good Nintendo insider, knows what he's talking about, doesn't talk about stuff unless he's sure, said that, he said he had a similar design shared with him back in September. He has not been able to confirm that, but at the very least, he's seen something that echoes this. So this is going around. He's like, he doesn't know if it's if this has been shared on Chinese message boards or something like that, but he has at the very least seen something similar. I wouldn't be surprised by that. The point here, though, is everything like this is setting up Nintendo fans to the point where this was a pretty big news story in the Nintendo community over the weekend. This drawing on the back of a napkin.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
It looks like it was found on a flash drive in a medieval time somewhere.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I'm getting like whale vibes from this dock. It looks like a whale's mouth.
Sure, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's weird. It's like, what has happened to us, Jeff, that we're reporting? See, Nintendo, this is what you've done. This is what you've reduced us to. We're reporting on children's drawings, or at least drawings that resemble children's drawings. My kids would draw. If I told them to draw the actual Switch, this is what I would get. But I mean, cool. Like,
yeah,
do we cool? If that's it, great. Let's see the real one. What are we waiting for? Part of me hopes that the thing we just talked about previously, it's been 8 years since the original announcement of the Switch, and that people like to or that Nintendo seems to like to follow the same schedule. Maybe this week they'll finally show us something.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know, but this is reaching Kojima speculation levels. That's correct. We're in like Five Nights at Freddy's ARG nonsense levels of Switch 2 news here. Jeff's face says it all. I don't know if you could see it. He's like, this guy is losing his mind. Get him off my show. This is terrible. Like, what are we doing here? Show us the damn console. What are we waiting for?
They need to just come out and do something now. I think, there were rumors last month. It's like, it could happen any week. And of course, no one knew for sure. And even the people who are like, hey, there's talk among some journalists that it could happen this month or this week, but we don't know. And like, just take it all with a grain of salt. Every time that would come, everyone's like, we don't really know. And of course, it didn't happen. There were rumors earlier this month that it was going to get announced. They're like, Nintendo's got something, and then later that week, Alarmo got revealed. So it's been wild out there. There is still no guarantee this thing even gets announced this year. It could happen in the first 3 months of next year. Nintendo says they'll do it before the end of the fiscal, which is March 31st. So we might be waiting a lot longer before we actually get the first glimpse of this thing. But I think going back to the hope that, hey, the way they did it last time was we got a trailer before the holidays, before the March where the Switch actually came out. Maybe they replicate it this time, but there's no reason to assume just because they did it before they'll do it again, other than maybe just we hope. The
only thing I can think of as to why they wouldn't do it this way this time is that there's a difference between the Wii U, which was out at the time, and Switch, and then Switch and Switch 2.
Yes, right. That is a huge difference.
And the latter could affect holiday sales of Switch 1.
Yeah.
Whereas Wii U, nobody was buying it anyways. Didn't really matter. But I can kind of see the strategy in that.
I agree.
It doesn't make it any less frustrating.
Yep.
I will say that. Unless we mentioned the Game Awards earlier, unless Keely's hoarding it. You think Keely's hoarding this announcement? He called in Reggie and he's like, hey, talk to your boys over there. I want that. He revealed the Series X, if you recall.
You're right.
Back in 2018, whatever that was.
It's not impossible.
maybe he's got this in his back pocket too. That he's hoarding. Stop hoarding it. No, I don't know that for sure. But yeah,
it's not impossible. But yeah, like right, yeah. Jamie H. Christmas Eve in chat points out that it's Brothership is still coming, and maybe they want to get on the other side of Brothership.
Right. Oh my God!
So like that's a big game still for them.
Yeah,
so,
I was having a conversation with my friends chat this morning about all the games that have come out already. Like what game of the year somebody said, and I named like 6 games that were still to come, and that wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
Good God, this year was sneaky good for games.
Yeah,
That's another story.
Really, really good. Yep. Anyway, so I think someone like saw that sketch design and knew people weren't going to take it seriously, so they went and like to AutoCAD or something and did a better render of it here. That it's like, okay, yeah, it's the same thing. It just looks slightly more professional, and you might be able to get a better view of the slanted design of the dock. And I gotta say, I like this dock. If this is what the dock is going to be like, I appreciate the fact that they thought a little bit more about it, making it sturdier. Not that it ever made that much of a difference, but I like this. Yeah.
I'm going to date myself here. If you understand this reference in chat, I appreciate you. But if you take that dock and turn it 90 degrees sideways, it's Homestar Runner.
See, I never watched Homestar Runner.
Oh man,
yeah, it keeps coming up now, and of course, I should go start watching it now. I should be the only.
It was very much a you. Very, very much a you had to be there.
Nah, yeah, I'm gonna watch it now. I'm gonna ruin everything.
It has not aged as well as you think. but it was funny back then. I still laugh now. But that is Homestar Runner, the Switch dock, and I can't get it out of my head.
All right, so let's keep going here. Nintendo, just as soon as we're done with the show, I know you want to do this. Then reveal it. Reveal it right then, so you could just frustrate me. I know that's your main goal in life, and then we'll talk about it on the Bombcast tomorrow. Deal?
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
Apparently, Sambo Nice Chat mentioned that the first reveal came out on a Thursday. So, and that's usually when they want to do it, right? Because that would be Friday in Japan, Thursday here. They can, make it all work, whatever. All right, Nintendo. Oh, real quick, Nintendo Switch sold like 32 million units in Japan. It's the best-selling console ever in that country. There's only like 130 million people in Japan. That is bananas.
That's pretty good.
I love this. Good headline from Jordan here over at VGC, Jordan Midler. Bloober Team claims it's finished making, quote, shitty games. Bloober Team has said it's aware of the mixed reputation of some of its previous titles and that the company is done making shitty games. Speaking to GameSpot in the wake of its newly announced horror title, Chronos: The New Dawn, the team behind the recently released Silent Hill 2 remake said it's looking to shake its previous reputation and emulate the critical and commercial success of Silent Hill 2. We want to find our niche, and we think we found our niche. So now let's evolve with it, said co-director Jechik Seba. And how that happens is more complex, but it also happens organically in a way, like with 2016's Layers of Fear. People in the studio were like, okay, we made some shitty games before, but we can evolve. We gathered a team that loves horror, so I think for us, it would not be easy to switch to other genres, and we don't want to. They kind of go on, but basically they're like, I think what they're trying to say is we had these previous experiences where we produced games that some people consider shitty, and we have learned from that. And the reason Silent Hill 2 is good is that we applied what we learned, and I'm willing to believe them for now. How about you?
What if their niche is remakes and remasters and not horror games?
Also possible.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
But good for you. You figured it out. You don't want to make shitty games anymore. Nobody wants to make shitty games. They came out with the medium, right? Should have been called mid, not medium. but I mean, good for them. If they think they figured it out and they're confident and they have a way forward, good. I hope it works out for them and they become a huge developer and do everything they want to do and all their dreams come true. Because that just means the people who like their games are getting more good stuff to play. And I don't have a problem with that. That's how it should be. If it doesn't work out, this fella here is going to have to be a lot of crow.
Yeah.
And it's not going to taste very good. He kind of put himself out there a little bit, but I also kind of appreciate that. I appreciate a guy who's when they come out and say, yeah, we're ready. This was good. This is all this. We figured it out. This helped us. Let's see what this 2025 game can do. Good for them. Yeah, I'm hopeful for them. I hope they can do it. I really do. Also, shout out to Jordan Midler. That is a fantastic headline. Just want to put that out there too. Yep. As you said, but no, yeah. I mean, I hope they don't make shitty games anymore. That's the dream. That's how it should be, and that's how we should all aspire to not make shitty things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I I'm hopeful. I think that making games is hard. I think that they have had the chance to sort of grow through that process, and now they've built up a certain amount of institutional knowledge that will serve them going forward. And there is a chance that, you know, the next original game, Chronos, comes out and it's clearly not as good as Silent Hill 2 Remake. That wouldn't be a surprise either, but I think there's a strong chance it is significantly better than the medium and a lot of the Layers of Fear, a lot of their previous games, which, you know, were mid to okay. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a victory. If they take the learnings from Silent Hill 2 and make a game that's maybe not to use Metacritic because it's not a good barometer, but just for this example, if it's an 80 instead of the medium's like 65 or 70, then they're going the right way.
Right. Yes, so exactly. Everyone kind of knows what you mean when you say like, an 80 to an 85. It's like, oh yeah, that would be fantastic for them.
That'd be perfect.
All right. Vampire Survivors is getting Castlevania DLC later this month. This is from Chris Scullion at VGC. The pack, which will be that's the Vampire DLC's pack, which will be called Vampire Survivors Ode to Castlevania, is set to release on Halloween, October 31st on PC, Switch, Xbox, PS5, PS4, and mobile, and it will cost $4. According to developer Ponkel, Ode to Castlevania will be the biggest Vampire Survivors DLC pack yet and will feature an absolutely stupidly gigantic amount of content. You wrote about this. Anything people should know?
So it will have 20 new characters from across the entire series. In fact, I will bring up my article on GameSpot.com, which you can read along if you like. And I will tell you exactly what I reported, just because I don't want to get it wrong. Based on what they said in their press release, multiple Belmonts, Simon, Richter, Trevor, and Sonia, multiple witches, Sifa and Yoko Belnade, Charlotte Olan, Maria Renard, if I pronounced any of that wrong. Remember how I pronounced Skibbity last time, and give me a break. 8 different whip weapons, specifically whips, 40 plus new weapons, 8 of them new whips. Elemental spells coming to the game for the first time, inspired by Portrait of Ruin and Harmony of Dissonance. Magic weapons, Alucard's entire outfit, sword, spear, and shield were specifically mentioned. Also, and my favorite part of this, because I'm a music guy, 30 plus music tracks from Castlevania's history remixed in the Vampire Survivors style. The official Ponkel YouTube channel put out a sample. It is Vampire Killer, and it absolutely hits. It's awesome. I've listened to it like 4 times today. You're listening to it right now, and I will shut up and let you enjoy it for a couple seconds. So good.
It's real good. Yes, it crushes.
They know what they're doing. Oh man, yeah, I'm just right here. Just give it to me. I can't wait.
Yep, very, very excited for this. Like you mentioned before we started, once they did the Contra DLC, we should have maybe put 2 and 2 together that this was going to happen. Yeah. Very glad they were able to make this happen. Do you? I'm down bad for Castlevania. I am over here be like, hey, Konami, you seem back to me in a way that I consider to be back. You're making Metal Gear stuff. You're you have a ton of Silent Hill games. Silent Hill 2 just crushed. And I'm very happy with the Dominus collection. Thank you so much for doing that. I wasn't sure you would. Thank you. But new Castlevania? Can we get a new Castlevania? See, Castlevania the show on Netflix continues to be a hit for them. I know there's some questions about the newest season of the newest show and whether that'll get renewed. But that show's been very popular. Those shows have been very popular. Castlevania is still very relevant. It seems like a lot of people like it. That would be the next logical thing. And we have heard rumors in the past that in addition to Metal Gear, in addition to Silent Hill, the other thing that they were really going to be doubling down on was Castlevania. Do you think that there's still a chance that's true?
Yes, and I think they're following a similar pathway that SNK did when they were getting back into full-time development with, or I guess Fatal Fury specifically. They put Terry Bogard in a whole bunch of stuff, right? He was in Super Smash Brothers. He's in Street Fighter 6. He got Fatal Fury 2025 coming out. They slowly reintroduced their characters and also released games in a certain order. You get Samurai Showdown first, then King of Fighters, and then King of Fighters again. I think I'm missing one in there, and then finally back to Fatal Fury. I think Konami's doing the same thing here. They have Metal Gear. They're doing that internally. They have Silent Hill, which they worked with another studio on, and they have seeded Castlevania in multiple places. Dead by Daylight had Castlevania. Dead Cells had Castlevania. Now this. They are seeding Castlevania, and I think it leads to eventually a brand new Castlevania game at some point. What that will be, And what format that will take, I don't know. But I do, and Netflix as well. Thank you. You did mention that too. And Zaki in the chat reminds me of the Netflix show as well. That's a big part of this too.
Yes.
And I think all of that combined will get to a new Castlevania game. Now, is that a story reboot? Do you just go back to the beginning and start over again? That seems to be a thing that's happening.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, did you start over again? Because like Lords of Shadow, is that the last Lords of Shadow 2? Is that the last original non-collection release? Am I forgetting one?
I think there was some stuff after that, like, but not anything major. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So I think the clues are there. I think there's a lot of different smoke signals out there signaling that this series is going to come back. It's just what form or fashion and when is the big question here.
Yep. I am hopeful for this as well, and would love to get to like the Game Awards and get hit with the trailer for this.
That'd be sweet.
Castlevania game.
Good place for it.
That'd be great. And really, they could do a 2D Metroidvania Castlevania. They could do a brand new major 3D character action game. They could finally let's remake the original Castlevania as a 3D Souls-like. Yep, that would hit very well.
Awesome.
That would crush, I think. So
that would be great. That'd be great.
All right, last couple stories here. Valve kind of reiterates it won't release Steam Deck 2 unless it's a generational leap. This is from Alex Hopley at Game Reactor. Following the release of the Steam Deck, of course, other companies tried their hand at making a handheld gaming PC. There have been successes here and there, but Valve's machine remains popular among gamers willing to take their PC libraries on the go. Speaking to reviews.org, Valve designer Lawrence Yang was asked about a upcoming Steam Deck 2 and whether the company will follow the trend of releasing yearly hardware. With the Steam Deck's aforementioned popularity, some good money could be made from regular releases, but Yang doesn't see the point. We are not doing a yearly cadence, he said. We're not going to do a bump every year. There's no reason to do that. And honestly, from our perspective, that's kind of not really fair to your customers to come out with something so soon that's only incrementally better. So we really do want to wait for a generational leap in compute without sacrificing battery life before we ship the real second generation of Steam Deck. I think they've said similar stuff before. They're sticking to this. We are several years into the Steam Deck at this point, and it's still as powerful as it was on day one. And I think I grow more and more appreciative of this tact because I do like. I also appreciate the space of here is a Chinese company that puts out something new every couple of months, and I'm always curious and I'm always paying attention to that, and I love that stuff as well. But as I get older, I have realized that like choice really is that paradox, and it's not just like it's so hard to decide. The paradox really is when you have so many choices, you convince yourself you are going to be able to find the perfect thing. So when it's just another thing, it's intrinsically disappointing to you because you had the choice. How was the perfect thing not out there? So just kind of like feeling, no, this is the Steam Deck. Here's what it is. Deal with it. At a point, I'm like, it is just the thing. So I'm gonna find the things to like about it. It's weird, but I'm like I've grown to a point where it's like I am just happy with my Steam Deck, and then of course I am someone who gets some of these things as well. So it's very easy for me to say that. At the same time, I think seeing price decreases and being able to get a Steam Deck for $350 sometimes and like, man, it's easy to get into. It's getting close to an impulse purchase for a lot of people. Seeing like the focus on that side of things as opposed to trying to keep up with the Joneses, I think is the right move. How about you?
I think I agree with you 100%. I think if you start flooding the market with iterations, people are going to grow tired of it. I think the fact that you leave them desiring one is good. I think this is also Valve. They don't know how to count to three, and the next one would be the third iteration of the Steam Deck. So that just fits in with their strategy since 2004. I also love this PR media trained version of the phrase, no, stop asking. Yeah. Because that's basically what this is. No, stop asking. We're fine. Leave us alone. We know what we're doing. We'll get it to you when we get it to you. What's out right now is where we want to be. There's not a update big enough for us to make the jump. Just play what you have. Be happy. We know this is Apple has trained us all to want the next design every single year. Give it to me right now. But it's fine. Just enjoy what we're giving you. We're good. You would be mad if we came out with a new one and it wasn't a huge iteration, and we're not there yet.
Yep.
So just stop.
I think I've not paid as much attention as much attention as I once did to CPUs and APUs. I know Ryzen had their new generation of desktop chips come out recently, and a lot of people were disappointed, although when I looked into it, it seemed pretty good to me. Like, it's like, these things are upgraded in the ways you want them to upgrade, but people are very weird about PC hardware, and it's always a weird arms race about going on YouTube and having these things fight against one another, but whatever. The next round of mobile chips from AMD should be coming very soon after this, for laptops and stuff like that, and that'll be the focus where, at that point, Valve and AMD will work again, probably have, I would imagine, a next-gen leap when it comes to that. So, hey, maybe we get one late next year. That could happen. And then what would that put us at? Because when did the Steam Deck come out? 2022, 2021?
Late 20, or September 21, early 22, something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that, just after the pandemic window.
All right, yeah, so we get to 2025, late 2025. Yeah, that seems like the right cadence for a Steam Deck. I don't think it needs to be 5 years. It doesn't need to be 2 years. Somewhere in between, 3 to 4. That completely makes sense to me. So yeah, we'll see.
100%.
Yeah, I should define. APU is just a combination system on a chip that has a CPU and a GPU on it. It's the thing that's basically in mini PCs. It's in consoles. Basically, run APUs. Steam Deck is a Ryzen APU. Okay.
February 25th, 2022. Thank you, Slime.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, late 2025, early 2026. I could see that being the case. All right. Let's see here. Last thing, real quick. What the hell happened with Banjo-Kazooie over the weekend? There was a YouTuber said he overheard Aaron Greenberg of Xbox saying that nobody cares about Banjo-Kazooie. That got picked up a lot of places, and I think that was weird.
Very weird.
For one, the original source just be like, I heard him say that, and I don't think he was joking. It's okay, but what did you hear him say? You heard him say no one cares about Banjo-Kazooie. What does that mean to anybody? Because they didn't say they're not making Banjo-Kazooie. They didn't say that, and that's the reason we're not making Banjo-Kazooie. It is without extra context, without follow-up questions, without getting a clarification. This is a useless thing to do, especially overhearing or even if you were directly conversing with him, then taking that conversation to the internet is only going to cause headaches for people. As someone that does leak, I'm like, this does not make sense to me. This is something that I would actively avoid and would try to be like, hey, can you tell me more what you mean? Or ask people around, like, is this the common sentiment inside Xbox that the reason we're not doing Banjo is because no one cares about Banjo? We don't have any of that. Aaron Greenberg seemed like he felt forced to have to clarify. He wrote on Twitter, correct, in response to someone saying that I don't think Aaron Greenberg would even say this. He said, correct, I absolutely know how much Banjo-Kazooie means to our fans and gamers everywhere. It holds a special place in my heart growing up playing these classic games. Yeah, I mean, but boy, I wish people would not have run with this because it just ruins things for everybody. Like I'm pretty sure this was overheard at the Flight Sim event that I was at. I don't think it was the days I was there. I think this person was there on different days. They had multiple rounds of people come in for Flight Sim, and Aaron Greenberg was there. And it's a nice time, and there's definitely opportunities and reasons to be like, when someone says something, to be like, this is newsworthy. I am going to go take this here. This is just nowhere near that to me. How did you see this, Hubbabaloo?
Yeah, it made no sense. And I saw not only the initial story, I then saw the response from Aaron Greenberg because someone tagged Aaron Greenberg in the link. I don't know how he got to it, but he completely was like, as you said here, correct, I know how much it is, blah, blah, blah. I think that there might be some sort of litigation, maybe? Like they're making shit up here. Is it libel?
I mean, maybe. I think what's going to happen is the YouTuber just never gets invited to anything ever again.
That could be it.
That's the risk you run doing anything, any sort of reporting, whatever. But, was it worth it? No, because this is a story we cannot glean anything from. I still believe the rumors we heard originally that they are going to make a Banjo game. So when that comes out, what did this story mean? Less than nothing. It was just a complete distraction. So we'll see. I just it makes things more difficult for everybody. Makes Microsoft and other companies more hesitant to run these kinds of events. I'm not someone that runs on the access side of media these days, where it's like, oh, I gotta keep our access, so that's what we got to protect above anything else. Not that most people are that way, but I also think that there's like, we're all just doing our jobs here. Let's have some respect for one another. And this feels like disrespectful. This is not the way to do this.
No, they definitely, they're either reaching. So there's three options. They're reaching and they didn't hear what they thought they heard. They just made it up entirely, which, is his own bag of worms. Or this was said in jest, and Banjo comes out anyway, and they look like an idiot no matter what. There is nothing benefits this YouTuber. Speaking of someone needing media training, there's no benefit to reporting this at all. There was no vetting. They didn't ask. Did they reach out?
Yeah,
Aaron Greenberg, who's very vocal on social media, will answer any questions. Like, did you really say this? Is this what you meant? Like, can you give me a little bit here? He would have happily given it to you. So what are we doing here? Yep. I hope Aaron. I've been wanting to use this joke. I hope he hooks you up. That's what I hope.
Hook him up, everybody.
Hook him up.
Hot damn. All right, let's get to the poll question. That does it for today's news stories. The poll question from last week: do you want a God of War TV show? 20% said yes. 80% said no. That's on 3.7 thousand votes. Yeah, I mean, I think, when I would pose this question, it was like, this doesn't take anything away from the games. You'll still get the games, even if you say yes. I think enough people are like, nah, yeah, but I got the games. So I don't care about a TV show. I'm not going to watch it. 1 in 5. We posted this poll question following up to a news story about, hey, the show is kind of rebooting. It's lost its producer. It's lost the scripts aren't good or whatever. They're restarting everything. So there's a chance it never happens. But even if it does, it seems like most people don't care. How about you?
I think this poll, and I do not want to question the legitimacy of the giant bomb poll, but I think that sample size is not indicative of the greater God of War fandom, because I imagine a lot of people who are God of War fans that aren't on Giant Bomb and should be may have missed this.
I think there's also a chance that like a wider casual audience would be like, that seems cool, but I'm never going to play that game. So yeah, of course, there's a reason to do the show still, for sure.
Or they'll watch it, and I feel like it's not good to compare everything to this, but I think Fallout now has set a good standard. Like a new gold standard, because that show is very, very good.
I really enjoyed that show.
And it breathed life into New Vegas and Fallouts 3 and 4 by itself. I think a God of War show, particularly with the story of the reboot and Ragnarok, could have a lot of legs. I really do, and I would like to see them try it. Now, the tumult behind the scenes is not.
On Giant Bomb, we call it the Tamalt.
The Tamalt? Yes. That sounds right. The Tamalt. That doesn't sound ideal, and I hope they smooth that out. But hey, I am willing to give anything a shot, and I think there are multiple video game franchises that are worthy of TV and full length movies. God of War being one of them, and yeah, I would give it. I would sit. I would watch. I would give it a shot. So why not? I am the 20% in this case. Excellent.
If it's good, I'll watch it. It's very good, I think, because I keep hearing the Penguin's good. I still haven't watched it. I think I'm going to, though. I think that's on Max, so I'd have to track it down. I don't think I have Max right now. The Penguin.
Oh, the Penguin. I haven't started that either. That is Max. Yeah.
I got NFL Sunday ticket. And I think they said I got 3 months of or 4 months of Max free, and I don't know how to redeem it. I've tried a bunch of different things. It's not worked. So, if anyone from YouTube TV is watching, help me out here. All right. We got a new poll question coming to you in a second. Before we get to that, Jason Fanelli, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet, what you have going on, all that good stuff.
All right, so at Big Man Fanelli on X, and now I made it a while ago, but now that everybody's over there now, Blue Sky, smiling at me. Jason's on Blue Sky, go and see. So yeah, Blue Sky, Big Man Fanelli.bsky social, whatever that link is, find me there. Just had something published in Rolling Stone. That's fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, I interviewed Nomada Studio over Neva. The recent, with the dog and the wolf.
Played it?
I played it for the interview. I got an early code and played it in anticipation of the interview. And they weaponized parenthood, so be ready.
Oh, never mind. I can't play that.
Oh, it's intense.
Okay.
And I'll give you the perfect example. There's a moment, and we talk about this in the interview, where you get separated from the dog. Right. And well, first of all, there's a button where you can call Neva. It's one button. You say Neva, and if she's around, she'll come to you and you can pet her. Or if she's a puppy and she's far away, it calls her to you. It's the only word spoken in the entire game is Neva. Ooh. Now, there's a point where you get separated in a maze, right? If you press that button while you're separated, it is not a happy Neva. It's a exasperated, worried, scared Neva, like shouting about where is this dog. And then you get through the maze and the dog's right there. Nothing's wrong. What the hell's the matter? We worried about.
Oh, wow.
If that's not parenthood in a nutshell,
absolutely.
I don't know what it is. Yep. But like the whole game is themed around parenthood and the seasonal structure where in the beginning the dog's a puppy, in the spring, and in the summertime it's grown a little more. Fall, it's grown a little more, and each time it learns a new ability, and that's instead of the player getting the new abilities, the companion gets the new abilities, and you use them in tandem. Very, very cool metaphor for growing up, and it's worth it, but be warned. Yeah, it's worth it, but as a parent, it's going to hit you.
And it's very highly reviewed right now. People seem across the board seem to really enjoy it. So, yep.
So you can read that on Rolling Stone, and then this Friday I will be in Vegas for MagicCon, Magic the Gathering convention, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you're going to be in Vegas playing cards, let's hang out. They got some news coming out that I'll be reporting on soon, and it should be a good time.
That sounds excellent. Thank you again for telling us all about that. Sorry, I was reeling because in chat, Wiesman, we were talking about Max, the one to watch for HBO. Apparently, they rebranded to drop even that reference to HBO. Now, apparently, it's called Max, the one to watch.
Yes,
which is insane. What?
Yeah, it is insane.
What does that mean? What are you talking about?
Is Highlander even on the service? There can only be one.
Yes. Oh man.
The whole name is Max, the one to watch. Yeah, it's real dumb.
That is so dumb. I mean, for getting rid of HBO branding, obviously, like we can just write a novel or we could write a whole research book about how dumb of an idea that was. But then they'd be like, no, we're going to say Max, the one to watch for HBO, so people know. And now it's like, well, drop HBO from that and keep the one to watch. That's the important part. What is wrong with you people? I'm so mad that you people have that much money and can be that dumb. Oh,
I will tell you what's wrong with them. It's 2 words: David Zaslav. And leave it at that.
It's wrong with a lot of things. All right, new poll question: do you feel the need for a Steam Deck 2 yet? The Steam Deck, maybe is that Steam Deck? Yes, no, and I never even felt the need for a Steam Deck 1. Those are your options.
Steam Deck?
Steam
you have to say it. Steam Deck.
We'll get the results of that poll and talk about it on Game Mess Mornings here on Giant Bomb on Wednesday. Speaking of Giant Bomb, Bombcast returns tomorrow. I can't wait. It'll be a good time. Mostly, it's going to be Jan sitting back and sighing annoyedly as me, Mike, and Dan, well, I think the whole cast should be there, fight with one another about Astro. So it's going to be a good episode. You're not going to want to miss it. Game Mess Mornings returns on Wednesday, as I said. We should have a new episode of Lucy's Blight Club. Either Wednesday, maybe Friday. We're going to try to fit it into the schedule one way or the other. She is on episode 2 of Rise of Lucy. I can't remember what we ended up calling it, but she's playing Skull Island, Rise of Kong. It's been fantastic. And then, there should be a week. We'll have a lot of the normal stuff. I want to do another week. Yeah, we'll do it. I want to do another Ghost and Grublands or Grubb by Ghoulies. I might change the name. I don't know.
By the Ghoulies?
Yeah. But I'm just gonna play a spooky games. Maybe I'll play Grabbed by Ghoulies. I just like the name Grubbed by Ghoulies. I want to play that at Killing Time. The Killing Time remaster from Night Dive.
Yeah.
It is so cool looking. I really am a huge fan of it. So we'll get that on the website. Maybe a few other things. That Fear the Spotlight, I think, is going to be out this week. We'll play that on that show. So we'll do kind of like a little bit of a fun another grab bag of spooky games. Although last time I said we'll do a grab bag with Grubb, and I only played Muppet Monster Mash for the PlayStation 1, which is a good game. But it was just a singular game and not a bag of any kind. All right, Jason Fanelli, thank you for hanging out with me today and talking about video games. I really appreciate it, man.
Happy to do it. Great way to start the week. Hope the week is good for Giant Bomb. Thank you. We'll do it again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you all for listening and watching. You're the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye. And go to hell, Jesse Vitelli.
You know, I was half listening there, and I heard "Go to Hell, Jason Fanelli." I was like, "Oh,